and welcome back to another exciting episode of Level Story. This is Danielle, your host for the show. Today we are playing Banjo Kazooie, a late 1990s platforming collectathon game, and discussing the story this game tells. It's a bumpy ride, but hey, we're having fun, right? I mean, I hope so. You know, you're watching, what is this, like part 4 or 5? You know, you're watching, so I hope you're having fun. But anyway, we're going to be playing through 2 levels today, Mad Monster Mansion and Rusty Bucket Bay. So if you're new to the show, it may be beneficial to start at the beginning. So look to the screen right now, there should be a link on there, or look in the description to figure out how to do that. And without further ado, let's jump right into our discussion, shall we? Alright, so you may have noticed that I did not start this episode by entering Mad Monster Mansion as I typically enter other levels. And that's because I messed up the recording, or rather, I didn't mess it up, I just forgot to click the record button. A little bit of a problem, right? I'm lucky to have anything to show for this level, actually, because when I decided to record that, the day I recorded this, I decided to also stream my gameplay for like one of the first times, and because I was so new at streaming, I was just so obsessed with getting everything correct with that I just forgot to hit record. So there you go. But moving on from my mistakes, let's talk about this game's ability to take the familiar tropes we know and love and make them their own. So Banjo Kazooie is not a game known for its story, right? We've established that. However, the game actually takes clever story elements and implements them into its game design. So Mad Monster Mansion is the perfect place to discuss this. The level is really just a massive haunted house. For the longest time, actually, this level scared the crap out of me. Like, no joke, I hated those ghosts. They're just the worst. And even like you're about to see when I leave the level, these like gravestones come out of the ground. Oh my gosh, so terrifying. Still just terrified of them, they're the worst. But what is also interesting is that Rare seems to equate scary with things that are gross. So now that's pretty typical in Rare games to see like a toilet joke, but man, do they go all out in Mad Monster Mansion. They go so far as to include Banjo and Kazooie being flushed down a toilet and exploring the world beneath. Very disgusting indeed. But back to the tropes. We saw in Freeze Easy Peak the team played with Christmas themes, and then in Gobi's Valley they played with racist imagery. And so on and so on. So once again, bare bones, this story has nothing to offer, right? But you do come across some fat from time to time that gives the game its flavor. But that brings me to the question, is it fair to critique a game about its poor story when that wasn't the intent? Well, yes and no. The game does tell a story, and so because of that, the story can be critiqued. Any story can be critiqued. But there is the issue of intent. Did Rare intend for their game to be analyzed for its storytelling? Probably not. But I believe it is a game that has a story worthy of study, even if it isn't all there. And pausing on that note, we have just entered Rusty Bucket Bay, which is said to be the most dreaded level of this game. It is also the most visually displeasing level. Quite frankly, it's just ugly, and the music, in my opinion, is the weakest in the game. So when I began this level, I was just dreading it. But honestly, while it was challenging, it wasn't nearly as challenging excuse me, as I had anticipated the second time around. And honestly, I had a lot of fun with the level. I mean, I died a few times, right? I did. But I really felt like I was being challenged in a positive way, and I learned from the tasks that the game had created for me, and I was able to utilize the tools and the moves that I'd learned to my advantage, so it was a lot of fun. I believe that is what Rare intended for the game. They didn't intend for the story to be this grand specimen to be analyzed. Their goal was to create a game where players could learn from the tasks set before them and become better and better players for the final boss battle with Gruntilda. With all that said though, intent is fickle at times, and I'm the type of person who believes in death of the author. So for those who are unfamiliar with the term, it is basically a way of analyzing a story without acknowledging an author's intent. Essentially, is reading Harry Potter and completely disregarding J.K. Rowling's statements that Dumbledore is gay. The idea is to take what the story gives you and then have your own interpretation. It coincides with the John Green quote mentioned in an earlier episode, that books belong to their readers. As such, I can say that games belong to their players, and thus it is fair for anyone to critique a game's story even if the story wasn't the central focus. Now you'll see, we just unlocked the note door to, I believe, get to the final boss, but we actually have one more level to complete before this game is done. Can you believe we only have one more level left? It's crazy. Oh, that's right, yeah, I gotta unlock the the pad to, what's it called? Get the puzzle pieces all together, unlock this world. I don't know if we're gonna see that or not. We are gonna see that. Cool. But yeah, so anyway, that is going to end our episode. It was a short episode, I know, but not much clips, that's what happens. So thank you so very much for watching Level Story. We're coming to a close in the end of the season. 2 more episodes are left. Next episode we will explore the humongous and beautiful Click Clock Wood, and then we will be following that with the finale of the game and our first season where we will defeat Gruntilda and rate Banjo Kazooie's story is going to be magical, let me tell you. I'm thinking an ice cream party is in order? How about it? But anyway, folks, my name is Danielle, and I will see you all next episode.